puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's population.
That's how you win a game.
It's population. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's population. We robbing Underdog and PrizePicks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's population. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Boogie setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the bros. Only withdraw, never reload. Underrated them out, amigos. We go with honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when a fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, it can't be good for my health. Some might call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks, population for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now, let the games begin.
Unbelievable. Just happened. He did it.
It's population. It's population. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
All right, yo, what is up, guys? I'm having some camera difficulties here. I'm sorry. Oh no, I think it's starting to move. Underrated.
Don't make it fall.
Yeah, I lost my camera boom in my move, so I'm relying on tape here.
Great tape
Doesn't
too.
matter. Yeah, we're the worst tape you could use, but hey, we're back. Oh man. Yeah, so sorry missed yesterday's stream. I had a busy week this week, the last 2 days especially, but glad to be back for tonight. Yeah, and let's get into it. Today was busy too, but we got some plays in. Here was all our core plays. Had a lot of first half because we were worried about some blowouts in some of these games. Oh, it's about to fall. And yeah, we're worried about the OKC Thunder game without Luka. One first half, ended up going the distance. And Gafford and Jalen cleared their full game too. So it could have gone either way. Could have gone first half for full game fantasy, but they got it done. Io went with Io just because knew you'd get an uptick in RA with Kobe out, and hopefully, we were thinking uptick in overall usage and scoring, but he just did not show up today. It was more of the Caruso show than anybody really. And then the Bulls they played a lot of games recently, and on a back-to-back, they got stomped as expected. That's why I went with first half. And we did full game too, hoping it would stay close. And then Kawhi was doing the back injury, but he ended up playing pretty well out the gate. Fell just short of his PRA, thankfully, because of blowout. And then Josh Hart had a legacy cover in the first half. He had 3 early fouls. We didn't think he was going to come back in, but he came back in, got an AM1 with like 30 seconds left to get over that first half PRA. And then Big Jock Lindale, his lines are pretty low for a guy who's going against a team that gives up the most everything to centers. And yeah, he crushed that in the first half. He cleared all his lines in just the first half. His points, PRA, PR, PA. So really liked him today as well. Was kind of worried about his minutes and rotation with the Wizards going small. But he ended up playing solid minutes, and also liked Amen Thompson too. Played him in a separate slip with fantasy with Jalen Williams. So, there it goes. So yeah, I think overall solid day. I mean, you're always gonna have one fall short, and that was Io. And hindsight, thinking about it, him being on a back-to-back, it was too tempting with Kobe Whiteout, who's accounts for so many minutes, like 38 to 40 minutes and so much usage. So yeah, what are you gonna do? But other than that, pretty solid day. And then, here's a 4-pick we hit. I forgot to mention we went with Jalen Brown's dunk. It's kind of a rule that we go with. Whenever he's playing on TNT and especially at home, he has 100% hit rate on that. He got it with 2 minutes left, so I need some better tape. I know, underrated. I'm using painter's tape. It's the worst. That's the only tape I can find around my garage. But we always like Jalen. Something to think about, look out for whenever he's on TNT or ESPN, nationally televised game. He, especially at home, he gets that done. Here's a 4-pick we hit as well. So just a nice little recap, and let's just dive into this. We had a little bit of time since it's a 6-game slate tomorrow on a Friday, which is kind of weird, right? Fridays are usually big slates, some of our bigger slates of the week. But it seems like, which I'm not complaining. I mean, it seems like lately, since the All-Star break, the NBA is kind of spreading out the schedule, spreading out the games and giving us a mid-sized slate almost every day, which I actually like better. I hate when we have a huge slate on Wednesday, then 2 to 3 games on Thursday, and then a massive slate again on Friday. I'd rather have these 6 to 8 games per day. It's really nice because when those small slates, it's really hard to prop bet because all the betting is so concentrated with limited games and props. So hard to find any value or edge. But so we got 6 games again tomorrow on Friday, like today. And let's see how many teams we have on a back-to-back. We have the Suns on a back-to-back, and we have the Clippers on a back-to-back. And I believe that's it. So 2 teams on a back-to-back here. And then let's see how many teams are on the front end of a back-to-back. So it looks like the Hornets play again on Saturday. So they're on a front end. I think that's it, right? Or the Pelicans? Do Pelicans play tomorrow? Yeah, okay. So the Pelicans, I might have missed one, but the Pelicans and the Hornets are on the front end. Looks like a big slate on Saturday, so. Okay. Let's start with the first one, Suns at Hornets. Okay, DK said it's Hornets at Hornets. Nice.
I'll take the Hornets.
9.5 points. Yeah? Do we have any injury news from the Suns, or might not get it till tomorrow? For guys potentially resting on a back-to-back, especially since they're going against the Hornets. I don't even see props for that game, so they're probably waiting to get the injury report from Phoenix. Okay, so we'll skip that. Miami and Detroit. How many times have they played this season? Only twice. Oh, so they kind of have a double header coming up here. So they play tomorrow, and then they play again on Sunday to close out the 4-game series of the season. But played recently. Let's go ahead and take a look at that game. Should be the same rosters and lineups going at it tomorrow. Any injury reports from that game underrated, if you're able to look?
For which game? Sorry. Sound like
Yeah, Pistons and Heat.
All right, let me think.
Okay, well, this is bringing back memories of this game. We went with Jimmy's free throws because Pistons top 3 in fouling. Cleared it, no surprise. And then it looks like the Pistons got a lot of their points from the 3-ball, from the 2 top scorers, and Cade and Simone, which makes total sense because we always say you can attack the Heat with 3-point shooting. It's probably their weakest and most vulnerable spot. So curious to see what they open Simone props at. I think this is a great spot for him because he's probably him and Cade. I mean, as you can see here, probably the best 3-point shooters on the team to go with, best options. So let's take a look at the Pistons rotation from last game. So I missed their game yesterday. We talked about it on stream, and we talked about Duran's. We went over Duran's first half usage and how productive he was, and man, did he go off. I went back and looked, and he went nuclear in the first half. So I'm glad we nailed that right.
Jay Nugget got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up, Nugget? Jimmy Butler's first quarter points. All right, we'll look at that now. Next. All right, so even with so Azra ended up not playing. He was questionable. Okay, so Simone stayed in the starting lineup, and Azra is questionable again tomorrow. Is that right? Underrated?
I think he's out.
Azra's...
I think he's out. Let me look real quick. I'm pretty sure I saw he was out.
Okay. Well, that's even better for Simone.
Yeah, will not play. Illness.
So yeah, he's still dealing with this thing on this. So I'm gonna put out. I doubt we get it, but Simone's 3-point prop, and then probably just his straight up points or PR in this matchup. I feel like his volume's gonna be pretty high and needed in this matchup against the Heat, where it's hard to attack inside, but you can definitely get him from the perimeter and 3-ball. So just depending on what his lines are, I don't think DK has him even up either. It looks like they just have Cade. Is Cade questionable?
Yeah, Cade went out with the injury.
He did. See, I missed yesterday. Okay, so that's why we don't have any Piston props. Okay.
Yeah, he had 19 points and we had the 23 and they took him out. He never played in the fourth.
Okay.
So it says questionable due to left knee injury.
Okay, so then Ivy's gonna be juiced to the moon. And then the problem is it's gonna juice Simone's points. It would have been better Cade played. Because it would have kept Simone's points down, or it would have opened up the court more for Simone on the wing and probably helped him with better shots. That just made things ugly if Cade is out. That made things real ugly here. Let's go to Miami. I think, like Nug brought up, we can maybe attack some first quarter or first half props here. So Jimmy. So why is Jimmy not playing? So Jimmy, early in the season, would play pretty much the entire first quarter. He was one of the few Heat guys to do it. I don't know why he's not doing it lately. So you see here, checked out, 5.5 minutes left. Didn't come back till 1 minute. So he only played 8 minutes. Yeah, that's his rotation right now. Again, against the Wizards, 7 minutes. In a minute. That's weird. Let me see. Let me bring up Stat News and see when this changed. To answer Nug's question. Okay, so it changed. Looks like early February, because like I said, he was playing close to almost the entire first quarter. A lot of times, 11 to 12 minutes. You can see here, and then probably close to 11 minutes. This 10 minutes is just the action to the second mark. It's interesting. And then you see the last 3 games, it's down to even 8. I don't know, Nug. Let's see. What's his line? Is it 5.5? Oh, it's 4.5. Okay, so they adjusted based on his new rotation. I mean, it's in play. I will say, though, the only problem is while he has been shooting a little more threes this year, with a 4.5 point line, he still needs 3 buckets or and 1, right? The likelihood of him hitting a 3 in the first quarter is pretty low from Jimmy. So, I don't know, something to think about. But, I mean, his line is typically 5.5. And back when he was playing the entire first quarter, it was even 6.5. So, I mean, there's juice on the over right now. I guess Underdog probably has it right now up at 4.5. So it's decent value as of right now. I can see that the juice fluctuating between 130, 135. But I think, I think what about his first half rotation? So yeah, he's playing 8 minutes in the first quarter. What's he doing in the second quarter? Playing about 6 minutes, 8 minutes total. So he's only playing 16 minutes in the first half, huh? Yeah, he seems to have a hard cap about 8 minutes first to second quarter. Okay, it's good to know. Now Terry Rozier, he's now playing almost the entire first quarter, 11 minutes. But last 2 games, what do you do against the Thunder here? Okay, so his rotation is pretty tight. Yeah, it looks like Jimmy checks in for him at that 1 minute mark, or 1 to 2 minute mark. He'd be someone of interest, but his line is already juiced, right? Yeah, it's minus 140. So we'll either not get it on PrizePicks or get it at 5. But if it's at 4.5 on Underdog, I consider that nugget. I mean, probably. I mean, Jimmy could. I mean, he's definitely gonna score, but he's gonna have to be really efficient. 8 minutes, and you can see in some of these games he was just diamond in the first quarter. I mean, look at this: 4 assists in the first quarter, 3 assists, and then at least 1 in every game. But he's at least achieving that 4.5 lately, even in limited time. And it's a soft matchup. I mean, this game he got it against Denver because he hit a 3. But yeah, don't want to rely on that. But I mean, you can see he has. It's definitely possible, in the realm of possibilities for him to hit a 3 in the first quarter. But he's only taking around 1, if that. So, yeah, I noticed a lot of times he just sets up others in the first quarter. Let's just take a look at Rozier's shot volume, because I do think this game, if Cade's out, is a game for first quarter or first half. So Rozier, all right, so he's got steady shot volume around 4 in the first quarter. He's really not taking 3s either. But at least he's getting at least 4 lately shot ups. But I mean, he's gonna have to go. Yeah, he's gonna have to go 3 or 4 to get that line. And then Bam's at 5.5. I don't know. Can't trust Bam right now. But I will say, I mean, Bam is doing the same rotation as Rozier and playing 11 minutes. And he's super active in that 11 minutes in the first quarter. But that was against a favorable matchup against the Wizards. But this is also a favorable matchup against Duran, right? So, what happened here? He only played 9 minutes. It seems like Rozier is the only one with, as of right now, a really solid rotation in the first half and first quarter. So maybe Rozier's PRA, since he is diming. Well, he's not going to get, I mean, he can get a few rebounds here. What's his first half PRA? $14. Pretty steep. I mean, he's normally 13.5, and he usually finishes right around there. So, yeah. Let's see what he did in the first half versus Okay, so against Detroit in the first quarter, he had 2 points, 2 assists. And then he finished with 11 PRA. And this kind of stinks if Cade is out, because I just don't see the game staying close long enough for Jimmy to get those free throws. Yeah, Jimmy didn't do really anything. I mean, he played 18 minutes. He had 7 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists in that first half. He's just not getting the minutes anymore. He's consistently playing only 16 minutes in the first half. Seems like they're saving him for the second half. And Bam's playing 16 minutes as well. So it seems like, as of right now, of all the starters, is Rozier playing most minutes in the first half. I don't know. I'm not liking any of them. But I would say if you want to take a shot at it, it would be Jimmy's free throw. If it's less than 7.5 or less. But you just gotta worry about blowout. What's the spread right now on it? Only 7.5 game spread. I'm sure that will go up if Kate is ruled out. Guys, there are some ugly games tomorrow.
What was today?
Oh my god.
Today was pretty ugly too.
No, I mean, but we had spots we knew where to attack, but oh my gosh, just in terms of quality of matchups and
Tomorrow looks even worse, huh?
I mean, the Magic and Raptors and Pistons and Heat, and then you know the Phoenix traveling to Charlotte on a back-to-back. No, Nugget, you're gonna need a big briefcase tomorrow to break all this down. Okay. And then we'll put on here. Let's look out for Simone's points or PR, but preferably his 3-point made, not 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. Big
Yeah.
Sean got a question too.
Big Sean, what's your question, man? Is Wemby going to be back to his normal self tomorrow, meaning stock guy? Against the Nuggets, he should, right? With Jokic, he should have a lot of stocks. Just got to make sure he's going to be on his normal rotation, normal minutes. I don't think they're on a front end of a back-to-back either, right? From what I saw. Yeah, if Cade's out, it makes Simone a little less attractive because he's going to get juiced, and the floor is not going to be spread out as much. And you know, Cade draws a lot of defenders, he sets up others. So you know, you're thinking, oh man, Cade's out, Simone's going to go crazy, or so and so like Ivy. But like really, a key player like him, who is a floor general and sets the offense and draws defenders and attention, like it really affects the offense and the fluidity of it, I feel like. So like guys like Simone who are just wing shooters, they're not going to have that many open shots from the wing or the elbow as they do when Cade's out there. He's out, right? So and they just juice his lines way too high. So
will they juice it more if Cade's out? They'll take it down. Yeah.
They'll bump it up.
That's interesting.
And that's another bad thing too, right? So two negatives working against us if Cade's out.
Right, and you don't want to go under though, right?
No, just because the Heat bleed threes and that's what he's out there for. If Cade is in, I want Cade in. And also for Jimmy too, because if Cade plays, we can feel a little bit better about the game staying reasonably close. Not that like the Heat are some juggernaut, but like Cade is like the entire offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what they had the lines for RAs.
Is Duncan Robinson creepy? That's what Nug says.
Like in terms of physicality, or as a
Yeah, I don't know. He just wrote that. I was wondering what it meant. He said, gives room for Robinson creepy self, right? First quarter points over, ? Guess Robinson's creepy.
Yeah, he kind of he's got a cartoon look to him.
I guess he's creepy.
Duncan 3.5 points. Man, but it's just the problem is like all his shot volumes from threes. So you're hoping he really hits like 2 threes in the first quarter. If that's what you're asking.
He said he's not creepy. He said he creeps up. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, get you some Duncan. I mean, you could take a stab at his first half points if you're feeling him, Nug. But I usually don't play Duncan. I usually don't play the Heat when I don't have to, unless it's an under. But this is not the matchup for an under. All right, let's talk about the next game. This one is gonna be just as bad. Orlando and Toronto. We definitely need the injury report for this. So, I said to look out for Bruce Brown certain props if quickly and then we're out. Did they end up playing?
You said who quickly?
Oh, quickly.
Yeah, he played.
Yeah, he ended up playing.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Grady did nothing in this game. After that fake game against the Nuggets, of course. How'd that game turn out? I'm just getting caught up from yesterday, missing that whole day. Looks like Kelly O went back to scoring on. Oh my gosh, Duran had 24 points and 23 rebounds.
He went crazy.
Dude, and we spent so much time breaking him down. I'm glad it worked out. I hope he helped people.
Yeah.
All right, looks like quickly and Kelly O are still splitting up the playmaking. We can take a look at the potentials. So RJ, I imagine, is out, right? Because he had a family member crisis.
I'll look. Nug says Franz is getting those points first quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, RJ Barrett's out tomorrow.
And Trent is questionable.
Trent is questionable, yep. Ooh, that's going to be an ugly team.
Maybe we can find some unders here. But it is in Toronto, which helps them. I was thinking Kelly O's PRA or RA under. For two reasons. One, it's the Magic. They're really good on the glass, especially in the front court. Two, and then on top of that, they don't give up many assists overall due to pace and defense. And then two, Quickly and Bruce Brown should eat into RA as well. So, do we have it at 12.5? We do. Okay. And I do not mind that under. I know it's a scary click if you see he's getting it every other game. So this will be the game he doesn't get it, right? For all the trends. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's a tough spot, man. Like Orlando just does not give up RA to bigs. I know he's not your traditional big because he plays more on the perimeter and setting screens and things like that. But you know, having Bruce Brown out there makes me feel a little bit better instead of Gary Trent, Gary's just going to catch and shoot and convert those assists. But yeah, for the last 15 games, I mean, they're looking at the soft season, right? The centers, they're giving up least rebounds and least assists to centers. So everything is working in our favor here. Having Bruce Brown quickly back, and then the going against the Magic here, where they really limit RA for front court. I mean, they limit points too. They're giving up the least amount of points too, right? So I mean, you can even think about PRA depending on the line. But Kelly seems like he's scoring now. 19 points, and then he had 20 plus points a game before that. He's hitting his 3-ball. I feel like it's just gonna be harder to get the RA. You might be able to, let's see what the PRA line is. $25.5. Yeah, I could say like he finishes, but like 11 or 12 RA and falls just short of it. He could get it done with the scoring if his 3-ball's falling, but I still don't even think he's going to get that. I mean, he's opening up with the juice on the unders 13.5 points as well. I'll probably do both. Come on down, Kellyo. You're gonna join our under party here. Braun's getting his 4 points, Nuck said. Okay, we're on that game. Let's look into it.
He said while you're at it, Wendell's first quarter also.
Yeah, that's been a solid one. Only problem is that like he takes at least 1 3 in the first quarter, and a lot of times you need him to make it for his first quarter points. That line can be pretty low. All right, so what is Braun's up? Is he at 4.5 or 3.5?
Must be 3.5 if he said he's getting them 4. Let's look.
Yeah, 3.5 minus 150. Oh yeah, we won't get that on PrizePicks.
Yeah, it'll
If
be
it's on Underdog, I'd take it now. It's good value. It'll be 4, or we won't get it, or eventually DK will bump it up to 4.5, which you from the under. Yeah, I don't mind Wendell. Either first quarter or first half here. I mean, you've seen the Nugget or the Raptors been getting torched inside the paint lately. So, I mean, even Wendell's first half PRA, if we're worried about a lot here, but it's Leo. What is it? It's 7.5 point spread as well. A lot of 7.5 point spread, which usually I feel like Vegas can't call it, like whether it's going to blow out or not. So they just kind of go down the middle. Look at all these low totals: 213, 217, 217, 217.
Isn't that funny?
Unders to be had here.
Yeah. Huh?
Unders to be had for sure.
Yeah.
There's not one near even close sniffing 230. So,
Right. Big Sean had a question regarding unders, in fact.
What about the German brothers for the Magic? Which one will be the better under? Oh man. I don't know. I mean, Mo, his lines are usually pretty low, and it's a pretty favorable matchup here, especially when he's come off the bench going against Porter. So I would just fade him. Franz has a pretty soft matchup against Grady Dick, and you'll probably get Ochi switched on him. So I don't know. I might just fade the Magic altogether, except I'm with Nug on Wendell. Something first quarter. You think it's first quarter, or let me look at his first half line. So his first half lines are pretty juiced now. He was before this he was 10.5 PRA, but I think due to the recent production in the first half, especially with him, they have bumped him to 11.5. And the matchup probably too. But let's take a look at his first half and what kind of shot volume we're getting here. He's another one of those guys that has a higher usage rate in the first half versus the second half. Yeah, I mean he's taking about 3 threes on average in the first half, and I mean he can hit him at a pretty high clip. What's really gone up for him is his rebounding lately, right? Like he's getting around 5 rebounds, and he had that spike game against Indy with 10 in the first half. This is all first half we're looking at here, which is usually not the case for him. He's usually not hitting the glass that hard. He's usually going to get you about 6 to 8 rebounds in a full game. But lately, he's been getting it done. I would say, I mean, he's getting stocked too, so depending on what his first half fantasy line is, I probably think that's most ideal here. Just due to Toronto having potentially starting 2 young guys out there, and Grady Dick and Ochi and nice guys that check in, like Liberty. So I think he can intercept maybe 1 or 2 passes here and get a steal for us. So depending on what the line is, if it's not too juiced, if it's less than 15, like 14.5, then applying it for 1 stock, probably would say that is probably the best. So we're gonna put it at 14 fantasy. If it's way too juiced, then we can still maybe consider that just up here.
You got a question on TikTok too. You can't see it, but it says he's just wondering about Jimmy Butler's points besides the free throws.
Full game points?
I think so.
Let's see if there's going to be any line movement on it. Or what they have it at too. 22.5. Man, it's hard to answer without knowing the status of Cade. Because I think if Cade's out, you're not going to get full run Jimmy to get if he's asking about the over. If you're asking about the over, I worry about the game. Jimmy getting that full run. So what we looked at Jimmy's recent rotation is that he's only playing 16 minutes in the first half. And then if it's a close game and he's needed, he's playing way more minutes in the second half, right? Like it looks like he's going to come in and play the entire fourth. He's going to play, looks like around 9 minutes in the third quarter. About 8 minutes. So he's playing about 20 plus minutes in the second half and only 16 in the first half. And so if it's not close and he's not going to close out the game, I just worry of him getting that over that hump and getting that 23 points. But if you're asking about the under, I definitely think with that said, I think it's definitely a possibility, but it is a very soft matchup for him, and he could rack up a ton of free throws like we saw him do in every matchup against Pistons, 10 plus free throws. So yeah, I think it really hinges on Cade status, in my opinion, because you take Cade out, you're taking off the board, you're taking 20 plus points, around 6 plus assists, and just how much he opens up the offense and does so much for them. So I think it's really hard to say. And I personally wouldn't take any Heat full game props as of right now, like the night before, without knowing Cade's status. But that's just me personally, because I don't want to take the risk. Because the whole game environment changes, I feel like, if Cade's out. Okay, back to the good old Magic, man. I think I think if you want a low line sweat, let's just check his rotations. He usually comes out gunning early. Is Gary Harris? You want that low line first quarter 2.5 points, or his first half fantasy too. So he's another guy. He plays majority of his minutes in the first half. He'll hit you 1-3 usually in the first quarter. But he's really active defensively in the first half, and sometimes I have his first half fantasy at 7.5, and he usually crushes that in the right matchup. And this would be the matchup, right? Like if you don't want to play Wendell, and if it's too juiced, and they give us that like first half 7.5 fantasy, I could see him getting like at least 2 steals here in this matchup. If not, definitely 1. Because quickly turns it over at a high rate, and then all the young guys around him. But we'll have to see what they put him at, and if they give it to us, because he's been crushed. Now let's just double check what he's been doing in the first half, fantasy wise. And is Suggs back?
I'll check.
Thanks, dude. I can't have too many tabs open here.
Big Suggs. Says he isn't on the injury report, but that was for last game. That's the last news of it from him. Let's see. Did he play last game? Must have played.
Okay. So yeah, Gary Harris went through the stretch of games. That's what I'm talking about. Where he had like, this is showing his fantasy points in the first half. He went the stretch where he was getting like more than 10 fantasy points in the first half. He had 11.7, 14, 10.2, 10.4, 17.9. And then he went back down to 6, and they had a couple of 13 games. He did have a couple of duds against the Pacers and the Knicks. The Pacers kind of makes sense because they limit the 3-ball from the wing, so he only took 1-3. He made it though, but yeah, not really active. But yeah, with him, you're really counting on at least one stock in that first half. And teams, I feel like the Raptors here are ideal for that. But yeah, I mean, you're counting on him hitting a 3 and getting a stock. So it's not the most ideal, but I feel like it is a good matchup for it. If not, you can just take his first quarter points, or maybe if you wanted to take his 1.5 3-point made. But again, he is not playing that many minutes in the second half, especially if it's blowing out and they don't need him because he's an old vet. They run other guys out there in place of him, like Anthony Black and others. So that you're kind of also betting on like him to really, where his most of his shot volume is coming from is the first half, for him to hit 2 threes in the first half. So kind of that's why it was kind of leaning the fantasy more, because then you can have the option of him getting a stock as well instead of relying on him to hit 2 threes. But that's enough Gary Harris talk. He's he's an old vet, but I think the stock upside is good for him. I think it's a good scoring and rebounding upside here for guys like Wendell Carter and Ben Caro. And then Franz, I've just been fading him unless he plays the Wizards, but I should fade him for the most part because of how much usage Ben Caro dominates on this team. So, he has been coming out early on shooting a lot. So, Nug, I if you want to take that first quarter points, I get it. I think the last first quarter he took like a certain amount of shots in the first quarter.
Nug's all over the place, bro. He got Kelly O points, full game over. He says he believes. And Suggs first quarter.
Suggs first quarter, okay. Yeah, Suggs, man, he is a hard one to trust. He either goes 0 of 6 or he catches fire, but most of the time he's going he's breaking. Underrated, that's your favorite player, right?
Not quite.
Yeah, Paleo points. I mean, he's been efficient. He's been shooting more. If you want to go with it, I'm just taking him for the under PRA and RA because it's a tough RA spot, and especially and then other guys, them having Quickly back and having Bruce Brown. So, all right, let's get to this game. I think this is going to be a good game for some first half overs here. Nuggets and Spurs. See how many times they played. Jog the memory bank here. All right, so we got almost a 10-point total or spread, 222 total, and they have played once. So they're going to close out the season playing each other twice. To answer your question, Sean, if you're still here, let's see how many stocks went behind this game. This is early in the season now, when you're still getting his feet under him, but let's see. To no surprise, Jokic went nuclear, and we're going to talk about him in this matchup. And yeah, Wemby had 10 stocks, Sean. He had 6 steals, 4 blocks, and it makes total sense, right? Because you got one of the highest usage centers in the league handling the ball a lot, and Wemby's going to be on him, so massive stock upside here for Wemby. So with that said, I think you can consider taking a stock prop, but I tend to stay away from stock props, even though if it's guys like Wemby who are just freaks with the stocks. I don't know. I hate relying on the stat reporters. Sometimes they won't even record. You'll watch the game and the defender gets a clear block, and they call it a defensive rebound, and you don't even get the credit for it. There's a lot of subjectivity to it, and I just try to stay away from it. For Wemby in this matchup, I think Jokic, you can definitely attack him. We talked about for his defense. I think Wemby has been shooting the 3 ball really efficiently. He had a dud against the Rockets recently, but he struggled against them all season and scoring less than 20 points 3 games in a row versus the Rockets. But you see here, I mean, it's early in the season too. He was efficient against the Nuggets, and he got it done on the glass. His 10 plus usual rebounds, and then he had the stocks. And then his usual, 3 turnovers. But I think the fantasy here, the only thing is it's on the road, right? Is it in Denver? So I think the Spurs started a road trip here. But it's at the Spurs. Okay. Even better. So Wemby tends to get a little bit more run at home. And yeah, probably gives him a little bit longer leash. So I would say Wemby's first half fantasy, if it's less than 8, something of interest. I'm hoping they do the matchup. I'm hoping they bump it down. We'll see. I'm gonna put 27.5. That's most ideal. I also like it, because Jokic plays huge minutes in the first half, because Jokic will play the entire first quarter, and then if the Nuggets are for any reason losing, then Jokic will check back in the 8 to 9 minute mark in the second quarter. So hopefully Wemby, most of his minutes are going to overlap with Jokic for those stocks, and then if with that said, with Jokic on the other side, love his first half here, right? We take centers against the Spurs all the time.
That's the play, huh?
Spurs, Wizards, and Blazers. So the top three. Right now, we have his PRA at 23.5, which is pretty low, right? Like, I mean, Jokic is usually at 24.5, and in a prime matchup or with other key guys out for the Nuggets, it can go all the way up to 25.5. We've seen it, so 23.5 is great value. I imagine it's just because the blowout concern. They have the full game lower than normal, and then they're just cutting the first half in half. But yeah, let's see. I mean, let's see what he did in the first half against Wemby here.
That feels like the play right there.
It feels pretty good, right? He had 21 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. So he finished with 29 PRA. I mean, the number one thing the Spurs give up the centers is points, right? But it's always hard just trusting Jokic for scoring because he's such a playmaker too and distributor and looks to set up. He's like a very unselfish player for his team. So his scoring is very up and down. But this kind of matchup, he can definitely get it done. Yeah, I mean, over the last 30, I mean, Spurs up there, right up there with the Wizards, the Blazers, and the Jazz. So, and then they're giving up, a ton of fantasy points, a ton of everything, along with the Wizards, and Blazers. So, I like the value on this at 23.5. I think it could bump. I know some games he hasn't been getting it done. Miami is a tough matchup against Bam, right? Miami does not give up many rebounds to bigs either. And in Phoenix, he just struggles against Nurk. He just really does. Both meetings he went against them. And Phoenix is good on the glass too with Nurk, so not many offensive rebound chances. Yeah, but you can see in other prime matchups, he gets it done. I think at 23.5 in this matchup's solid value. The points, I think, are down to 12.5. It's about its normal line, so nothing crazy value there. Again, I would probably lean on his PRA here because good rebound upside and definitely good assist upside here. I wouldn't be surprised if he had 6+ assists in the first half here, because the Spurs, they just bleed assists because their perimeter defense and switch defense is really bad. So he could definitely get it done.
Do you think that he'll try to show out against Wemby too, just because he's that guy?
Because he's another international player from overseas?
Yeah, well, just kind of, this is the rookie, this is the dude. I'm going to show him, welcome to the NBA type of thing, and just give me the ball, Can you see that or not?
I don't know. Jokic kind of just seems like a guy who doesn't care, right?
Yeah.
He's like riding his horse chariot, like when he's announced MVP. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. Nug said, Aaron Gordon over first quarter. Your thoughts? This is a great spot for Aaron Gordon too, right? So Aaron Gordon, majority of his points come from inside the paint. That's where the Spurs really struggle.
A lot of first quarter plays too. Nug has been throwing out there. He likes the Nerfies.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna get it at 4 flat because it's heavy juice on the under 4.5. Night says, do I dare say it? Yes, Jokic under 3 assists in first quarter. I'm feeling it. Wait, the line on Underdog's at 3 flat? Yeah, I mean, I can see it having high push potential, but you gotta remember, Nugget, he's playing the entire first quarter, right? So, but yeah, I mean, the guys around him aren't making their shots. gonna be hard for him. I mean, in the last meeting, he only played 10 minutes, and he normally plays the entire first, and he still had 3 assists. Let's see. Let's just see lately, not just versus the Spurs, because that was early in the season. Let's just see lately what he's doing in the first quarter. Yeah, I think it has high push potential. No, so stick with your gut. I mean, he could easily finish with 2, but it looks like a lot of times in favorable matchups he'll finish with 3. So, it's good push potential. Yeah. And then Sean said, okay, hear me out. Jokic, Spurs have Pierre and Wemby stocks. Do they have Wemby stocks on here? Go for it, Big Sean. There you go. Go for it. And the thing is about Wemby is, like I said, with Jokic playing so many minutes in the first half and Wemby probably overlapping with a lot. I mean, he could finish the first half of 3 or 4, and then you just need 1 or 2 more in the second half, even if it blows out. And maybe it won't blow out now. It's in San Antonio. We've seen Denver play down the competition as of late. And San Antonio's been playing better basketball too, so he can still get it done. In the second half. You gotta trust your gut on that. Let's look at the other San Antonio props. I really don't like to attack Denver for anything else. They're good on the glass. They don't really give up that many assists. Kind of your average pace. Like nothing really to attack. Let's see what they have Wemby's lines at. Odds for. So they always do this. They always open his rebounds lower than what it finishes with, and then they'll bump it. So they open it at 10.5, and there's already juice on the over. So that'll go up to probably 11 tomorrow. Yeah, look at it, man. Bookies are like, or the public's already smashing it. Like, there's so much juice on the over rebounds for all these Nuggets guys. MPJ minus 145, Aaron Gordon minus 140. Even Jokic has slight juice on the over minus 125 at 12.5. Yeah, only one is Jamal Murray with the under, but makes sense though. Spurs run a fast pace, put up a lot of bricks, a lot of shots. So I hate choosing rebounds though between a lot of these guys like Gordon and MPJ. Like one will have a spike rebound game and totally destroy the other one, and if you land on the wrong landmine, you're just totally toast. So I tend to stay away from their rebounding unless someone key is out like Jamal Murray or Jokic. I'll consider the RA for someone like Aaron Gordon, but yeah, with them fully healthy, I tend to stay away from that. But I don't, as a hedge to Jokic, I don't mind Aaron Gordon here for his first half fantasy or PRA because how soft a matchup it is for guys like him who score in the paint. So we talked about last game, the Nuggets played the Heat. We talked about playing MPJ because of his 3-point shooting, and he went off and he had 25 points. And yeah, I mean, a ton of threes, so that makes sense. But in this matchup, this is going to favor more scoring inside. Now the Spurs do give up threes, but they just can't stop the scoring inside the paint at all. So guys like Jokic, guys like Aaron Gordon can definitely get done. And there's really good stock upside here for Aaron Gordon because he can rack up blocks on guys driving to basket like Stilhan and like Wemby and like Vassell, who drives at times too. So let's see what his first half fantasy is. If it's around 14 and a half or 15 flat, I think you can definitely consider it. But yeah, that's about it. And then Wemby's first half fantasy, or if you want to take a stab at his stocks, I hope he racks them up on Jokic here, which he definitely can. But man, cheering for 5 stocks. How do you feel about that underrated?
Woo! You already know. Can't do it. Love you, Big Sean. Can't do it. That's just me. That's just me.
Man, they have been juicing Aaron Gordon's dunks lately. It's gone only up to like 2.5. It's always been 1.5. I mean, but he has been dunking. But some games he'll just finish a 1. It's a great dunk spot for him, but I don't know if I can do the 2.5 because we'll probably get it at 2.5 tomorrow. All right, anything else in that game, guys? Nuggets said, Sean said, I'm not going to. They're underrated's not going to the stock party. Hey man, it's Wemby. That's what he's good for, right? Those huge, long alien hands. Nuggets said, I'm looking at under Trey Jones' assist first quarter. It's at 1.5 coin flip because I'm thinking under. Let's take it. Since you're looking at it, let's just look at the rotations real quick. I think that's key. I'm not just going to blindly answer that. Okay, that's good that I like how he's not playing that many minutes, Nugget, in the first half. You know what? Here, let's get. I got a better way to answer your question. Let's look at his assist rate. Assist rate in the first quarter over this past month. He shot like crazy the other game. Like crazy high volume for him. No, I don't want to sign up for that. All right, Nugget. Let's see what we got here. All right, so this is showing each game, first quarter. We're going to pay attention to this column, assist rate percentage. So it looks like he's averaging between 7 to 8 minutes. I mean, some games he just has 0% assist rating. I mean, his usage is super low too, right? Minus this Houston game, which I was talking about how he just came out gunning. I mean, he shot like crazy in that game. but that was not normal. Yeah, with how low his usage rate is, and him only playing 7 to 8 minutes, I don't mind it. Yeah, and it's a matchup where it doesn't favor playmaking against the Nuggets, so pretty good perimeter defense. KCP out there. Yeah. Yeah, Nugget, appreciate you bringing the briefcase. Good questions to ask. Got us digging deep here. This is good. Anyone that was curious about Trey Jones' first quarter usage and playmaking, he's not doing a whole lot, guys. I mean, a lot of games he's sub 10% usage. So, I mean, that means he's not touching the ball much in the first quarter. Because the usage percentage accounts for also just how much they're handling or touching the ball. So he's really, majority of these games, not doing that much. And some of these games, guys are in and out for the Spurs, like Wemby, Kelvin Johnson, Sohan in and out. So even Vassell sat in some of these games, right? Against the Warriors. I think Vassell sat in the first meeting. So, and Trey Jones still only had a 9% usage rating. So it's pretty bad. Yeah, no problem. No. I think it's worth the shot for sure. I mean, guy's gonna play 7.5 minutes, and he has to get 2 assists, and he's barely touching the ball. I think the odds are in your favor in a tougher matchup. Yep. Okay. Anything else from that game we want, guys? I mean, MPJ. This has been probably really one of his better months of basketball in this season for him. But he's had some favorable matchups against teams that give up 3 balls. The Spurs give up 3 balls, but he's a guy I tend not to rely on. All right, finish it off. Nightcap with Atlanta and Utah. Man. These teams give me headaches thinking about them, but we just saw this matchup, right? We took John Collins with the revenge narrative because it was back in ATL, and he let us down big time, right? Underrated? Didn't he have like 7-8 turnovers in the first half?
Yeah, I think he had 6, but yeah, enough to hurt.
How do you remember that number off the top of your head?
I don't know. I just remember looking at it and being like, "Oh my goodness, this dude is crazy. What is he doing?"
Maybe the pressure was too much for him being back where it all started for him. But now that he's playing his old team, but playing in Utah, maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't know. Let's bring up that game. So Clint did not play this game, I remember, right? It was Jalen at center.
Oh, Jalen's questionable, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, Capella did play. Okay. Yeah, Capella did play.
Capella balled yesterday against a good old.
I think
Blazers.
he's starting to get back to his normal self. I think this game right here against the Jazz, it was still early on when they were working back in limited minutes.
And Okongwu's still out too. Oh yeah, Jalen Johnson's questionable tomorrow though. That's a little scary.
So he might make his return.
Yeah.
Well, this is a massive offensive rebound upside for Clint and Stocks. I mean, Jazz bleeds Stocks to bigs. What you can see here, 5 offensive rebounds, 4 Stocks. But I mean, Clint is really good at offensive rebounding, and Jazz just don't have the size to match him on the glass when the Hawks are putting up shots. So Clint should have another easy time here to get offensive rebound putbacks. Sadiq's gone, so
Right.
let's look at the Hawks rotation.
PR 23.5 for Big Clint's not too bad, huh? Or do you like his stocks in this game?
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to see what his first half fantasy is going to be. I saw it all the way down to 13.5 the other day, but I'm sure now that he's playing better, it's going to be back. His normal first half fantasy line is like 15.5. So I'm curious to see what it is. Just because like John Collins, I don't know, he seems just way more active in the first half. But obviously they started Wes Matthews in place of Sadiq. Old man Wes, wow. But then they closed with Hunter, which makes sense. Well, DeJounte went off. Wow, poor Blazers, man.
Trash.
Poor Blazers. So DeJounte dropped 40 on him, last night? And then tonight, Brunson dropped 40 plus on him.
And Simons didn't even play today, so we knew that was going to be
a
scary game.
Yeah. Brunson had 44 or something. So they've given up 40 plus points to point guards in the last back-to-back days. So mark that on your notes in your briefcase, Nugget.
45.
Any scoring point guard versus the Blazers right now?
15 for 17 from the line.
Brunson?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fouling him like crazy. Yeah. What's up, Nugget? What's your first quarter question?
I got a lot of first quarter questions. Never heard such things.
Kente George over first quarter points 4.5. Man, he is chucking, isn't he? This guy. Now that he's got the full green light and the coaches are like, we're going to play him out for the rest of the season as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is chucking. Let's see.
He's excited.
He played the entire first quarter, Nug, in his last start.
Uh-oh. Nug might be onto something.
I would say yes. And he's taking a lot of threes, right? So if he hits 1-3 and then gets, foul or to the bucket on a layup, bam, you're over. I like it, Nug. Well, who else is going to do it for him besides him? Obviously Sexton, your boy, Mr. Collins, in a revenge spot. But he's one we don't speak of, right? Do any questionable tags for the Jazz?
Let's look.
Yeah, Nugget. I out of all the first quarters, I probably like that one the best. Do the matchup, and I'm playing the entire first quarter. Because imagine DeJounte is going to be on Sexton. A lot. Obviously they get switched on and off, but. He's just playing crazy, the highest minutes on a team. Tire first, tire fourth. What are his lines? I probably wouldn't take the first half. I would either take the first quarter, like you said, Nugget, or I would just take full game, because you want access to the how many total minutes he's going to play, especially if he plays the entire fourth. And imagine the spread is pretty close on this one, right? You can't It's gonna be 2.5 points. Yeah, it's lowest spread on the slate. So I would say if you don't do his first quarter, access to his full game here. Maybe his PA, but let's check the potentials.
So you said Jazz. It looks like Clarkson's out, Dunn's out, Markkanen's out, Hendricks.
Oh, Clarkson's out.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge for his playmaking
Yeah.
and obviously his scoring and usage, because he was overlapping minutes with him. Like in that first quarter nugget, like if George plays the entire first quarter again, he was overlapping like 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes with Clarkson, but now Clarkson's out. So now you're just going to get probably Chris Dunn and THT overlapping. Probably secures Keontae's first quarter minutes even more so too.
Wait. Dunn is out also, bro.
Well, that kind of sucks. Okay. That's just more minutes for THT. But
Okay.
it also solidifies Keontae's minutes more so. Okay. Man, I'm liking this PA, right? We gotta like this PA. Going against Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're at home, and you got no Dunn. You got no Clarkson. And let's check the potentials here. I mean, both those guys I just listed off are always in the top 5 on the team.
I like that. I like that. That and Jokic got to be the top 2 so far.
I like it.
Too much. He's got so much time. Good matchup. All of it. I don't know about the first quarter necessarily, but whatever. Just his potential tomorrow. Get out of here, Giannis.
What the heck? There's no one passing on this
That's
team?
what I was about to say. That looks weird.
No, but Keontae passed the most. 46 passes made.
Yeah.
No one else was even close to that.
No Dunn and no Clarkson though. He'll get it all, or a lot of it. I guess
Yeah.
THT
Oh, yeah.
will get a lot more, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Dunn. I mean, that's all Dunn is out there for.
Mm-hmm.
That dude don't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't right, dude. Something's not right.
Yeah, it
Whatever
looks too
setting
low.
they're on, like,
It does. It looks weird. They're trying to tell us Utah just doesn't pass.
yeah, I mean, I would say either Sexton or Keontae. I mean, what's their lines for assists here? Yeah, 6.5. That's kind of rich for Sexton, but I get it. 5.5 minus 140 of the over. I might take that on Fliff.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I mean, he normally finishes with 5 minimum, like with everyone playing.
And Atlanta at home without the other dudes in, I like it.
And how many minutes he's gonna play?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I kind of lean him more than Sexton, just because of his like they want to develop this kid. Like they want him to be their future, like their future point guard, right? So Sexton is just there. Sexton.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. I mean, he's consistently getting 5 to 6 assists here.
Yeah, and in
It's
this
at 5.5.
in this matchup too, it feels like he should get 6.
I mean, he got 6 against Atlanta recently, right? In just 34 minutes. I expect him to play in a close game, 38 minutes here. So, Yeah, we don't have any assist lines, to no surprise. How do we as a group feel about Mr. Collins here? With all those guys out. Did you get an uptick in usage as well? Yay or nay?
I mean, I usually just I don't love
Yeah,
him.
they're
Ever.
playing in Utah now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's in Utah. It's even money line right now in Keontae's PA. So I think, maybe once the public starts betting on it might shift. Juice might be coming in on the over. We'll see. Just once people get caught up on the news and see it and wake up early in the morning, it might move the lines. We'll see. Sexton kind of already opened with the juice on the over is 27.5. So I mean, Sexton has, in my opinion, higher scoring upside.
Mm-hmm.
Like Keontae beat a rookie. He can show at times inconsistent shooting, but he does take a lot more threes, I feel like, than Sexton. So when his three balls fall, he can score in a flurry. But if it's not, I feel like Sexton, he has the better driving game, mid-range game, gets to the free throw line more. So I mean, I don't hate it as a hedge if you want to take. If you're able to take Keontae in one slip, his PA, and then Sexton's PA in the other. I'm probably going to do lean PA for both because of all Dunn and Clarkson being out. I just like having that second avenue of getting over with the assist with those guys being out.
I like it. Compared to anything else we got.
I'm gonna put Jordan Clarkson. I had him on the mind. Rest in peace, Clarkson.
Later, bro.
No. Sexton, what's his first half period with all those guys out? His first half, he might play a little bit more minutes in the first half now with those guys out. His minutes were kind of being capped in the first half. Okay, well, they adjusted accordingly. Never mind. I only play his first half period if it's like 14.5 or 15 flat, but that's too high. Too high. You believe in both, Nug? For what, Keontae George and Collins first quarter? All right. Yeah, it looks like Clint, his fantasy is probably going to be 15.5. I think you can consider it. It's actually that.
Clint's been coming through. I like Clint.
Hey, Clint, I'm going to put his first.
Does the Jalen Johnson, if he plays though, does that fuck it up?
It does. It hurts his rebound upside for sure. So we'll put a note saying that's really contingent upon Jalen Johnson. But if Jalen Johnson does play, if anything, it'll lower Clint's lines.
Right.
I'm gonna put 15 fantasy. If Jalen is out, Nug said, "Tell me about Taylor Hendricks. Is he back? I thought he suffered a pretty serious injury.
He's questionable, I think. Let me look again. I'm pretty sure he's questionable.
He's been out last 3 games?
Oh, game time decision, toe injury.
Yeah, well, hard to say that, Doug.
Seems like he has a good chance of playing, it says. Grandma Wire said.
Yeah, he's been playing more because the other guy's being out, and also they want to develop him because he's their other rookie. So, I think they said it was someone that they want both him and Keontae, to develop these last part of the season, last games coming up here. Was it less? Where each team has like 15 or so more games left in the season. Yeah, I would fade him. And he's coming back. I thought that injury he had was pretty serious. Kept him out for like almost 2 weeks now. So who knows? He probably will be on a minutes limit as well. We'll have to wait and see. Atlanta side? It's a good playmaking side, right? Like both these teams bleed assists.
Did you see Bogdan last game? His RA. I don't know what they did different, but it was super interesting. Oh, they don't even have his props up now.
Yeah, because Jalen's questionable.
Yeah.
And it sounds like because Jalen's just been ruled out every slate, so the night before, so it sounds like he's trending in the more so in the direction of playing. Now that this is the first time he's been questionable, so that's a big time wait and see on the Hawks. And it'll muddy things up even more because he hasn't played in a long time. And it'll muddy things up even more if he plays and is on a minutes limit. Because then it's just going to like dilute everyone's production in a limited time. Right. Shave off a little stats here and there. Whether it's Clint like with rebounding or stocks or playmaking for guys like Bogdan and DeJounte. But I mean, it's a great scoring, playmaking upside for DeJounte again, just like his last game against the Blazers. But I'm sure he's going to be super juiced coming off a game like that against the Blazers. 40 points? How many assists did he have?
His assists were down. Look at Bogdan, bro. Bogdan had 15 RA. Crazy.
Yeah, I kept taking his 3.5 assists. His potentials were always there. His teammates just weren't making the shots. But now Sadiq is out of the lineup, so maybe that's helping.
Maybe that's what it was. I was wondering.
Poor Sadiq.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at the potentials. Crazy. DeJounte had 15 potentials, only 3 assists. Bogdan had 8 potentials, 8 assists. So funny.
Yeah, that's Bogdan.
That's crazy.
For other games. What you just saw for DeJounte.
15 and 3.
Plus potentials.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
That's some WNBA type stuff. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's the scary part, right? Because like the potentials are going to be there for DeJounte and Bogdan, but it's the guys they're passing to. But if you look at this last meeting, recent meeting, DeJounte had 11 assists. Bogdan had his usual 3. That's even with Jalen played 35 minutes. Jalen had 6. And then both Jalen and Clint got it done on the glass because Clint had those 5 offensive rebounds. Now, if Clint doesn't get the offensive rebounds, Jalen's going to soak up a lot of defensive rebounds if he plays. So it'll be hard if you take a rebound prop for Clint if he doesn't get those offensive rebounds. But like I said, the offensive rebounds are going to be there. We were talking about the Jazz here, who give up top 2 most rebounds and points to centers. So great scoring spot for both Jalen and Clint. I don't trust Jalen coming back from an injury that's kept him out for a long period of time. Probably on a minutes limit. But good scoring spot for Clint and rebounding and stocks as well. So that first half, definitely appealing. And then other than that, if Jalen plays and it's good to go, I don't really like any other Hawk here for all the reasons we discussed on the playmaking side. Josh and Josh's favorite T pick. I think being underrated right now, currently what's on the board, I think it's got to be Keontae George. Since we don't have his assist prop, I'm going to say his PA. It would have been nice if we had his assist. Even if we got it at 6 flat, I would consider it with all his guys out. But I'm going to say his PA. Good scoring upside for him here. What did he do last meeting? He had his normal 6 assists and then 14 points, 34 minutes. But Markkanen played in that game. Clarkson played in that game. Clarkson went 2 of 10. So those two guys are, when they're in, usage monsters and hogs, right? So, and Keontae went 4-9 from 3. So, make a few more buckets here with that 6 assists. I think we have a good shot here. And then hedge to that would be Sexton for his scoring upset, I think, or his fantasy. Yeah. And then Collins is Collins. Good old 5 turnovers, 5 points, 5-5 deal.
Was it 5, not 6? Or is that a different game?
Yeah, it was 5.
Oh, maybe they took one off.
Yeah, I think they did actually. And then the other one, yeah, I think it's got to be Jokic something, right? Like whether it's first half points, first half PRA, like centers versus Spurs, man. It's been a rule all season. Just like centers versus Wizards. Just like why we took Jock Lindell, who I would never take in any other.
That worked. That was a nice one. That was a good call, bro. Hey, but Jokic, the other thing too is like it's that great spot, but it's also that 23.5 is great value.
It is good. It is good value. Yeah, because in a normal setting and matchup where it's like it's 25, it goes up to 25.5 easily. So
I'm saying if it was 25.5, you'd consider it still, huh? Like no, it'd scare you off.
His normal line's 24.5, so I would maybe consider it there. But the 23.5, I just really like because of the value in the matchup.
We got to get it tonight.
It probably bumps. And then Wemby, probably first half fantasy, but we won't get that till tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll be juiced to 28.5 or 29. We'll see. Given the matchup, or given the history in that one game and the stock upside he had against Jokic, but we'll see. Those are probably the top 2 or 3 nugget for me. Curling what's on the board. What do you get? What is your guys' favorite so far? If you have one nugget.
How much do you like that Kelly O under? Is it a little risky, or you like it a lot?
I mean, he's been productive. I like the Magic's defense more when they play at home because it's way more efficient. And I believe the Magic are on the road. So, but I mean, it's Kelly O, dude, and he's playing the Magic. And I showed you the stats of centers versus the Magic. Like, I just don't see him getting it done. At least with RA. But if he continues this high shot volume and Gary Trent's out, maybe the PRA is a little bit scarier because if he's getting like 15 plus points, because over his last 2 games he's averaging almost 20 points. Premium under first quarter assists risky. I have no idea what he did last game back. What did Micic finish with, by the way, in that game?
He had 8 assists. He had 6 at halftime, and then he slowed down, and Man had a few more. But Man had, I think Man had 0 assists at halftime. I gotta look again.
Did he not play the minutes?
I don't know if it was minutes or 30 minutes.
Looks like they staggered their minutes a lot too. They didn't play alongside each other a lot. Like Micic played this whole 5 minutes in the third without Trey Man out there, and then he played this whole 5 minutes in the second without Trey out there. Yeah, they staggered the minutes.
And then Miles Bridges killed me and got 6 assists. He smacked me yesterday.
Wow. So yesterday sounds like it was rough, huh?
It wasn't the best. Yeah, How do you say his name? Mikic?
I always say Mičić.
Mikic had 13 potentials, Bridges 10, Man 8. But Man ended with 0 assists. 8 potentials, 0 assists.
That's crazy.
Oh, Poku played a bunch of minutes yesterday. Your homie.
Oh, nice. Poku's back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder legend. Yeah, Nugget. I mean, it looks like I just said how Trey Man, they were staggering the minutes in the second and third quarter. But it looks like the first quarter, Trey Man's playing all of his minutes, really, besides this last 2 minutes. But he's playing all his minutes alongside Mičić. So the under assist in the first quarter would make sense rather than full game.
What are the odds, Nug? What are the odds on that? 'Cause that does sound pretty good.
Oh, it's not up because we don't have any Hornets props, right?
I don't know. I don't know where he's looking at that. Where are you looking? Where are you finding that, Nug? Is it Underdog or? I forgot Hot Streak has that kind of stuff now too. Let me see if they got that. I always forget about first quarter.
I only consider for assists.
That's-
First quarter, I only consider unders like Nug is doing.
Yeah, I
Right.
like that. I like that.
The overs are
Yeah,
after he misses way more than it goes over.
for sure. No, I like that. I don't see it anywhere. I don't know where he's finding that, but I like that. Oh, UD said. Huh. That's a good bet.
Okay. No odds, just an old noggin. That's the way to go, Nugget. We're gonna start calling you Noggin instead of Nugget.
I like it. Jay Noggin.
I'm gonna add it to the list for him. In honor of Nugget, we're gonna Trey Man. First quarter, 1.5 assists. He's playing all of his minutes, majority of his minutes in the first quarter alongside Mičić, but like I mentioned earlier, the second and third quarter, he plays staggered minutes and doesn't play alongside of him. So this is on Underdog. And then we besides Keontae George PA, we liked his first quarter. It was 4.5 points. He just played the entire first quarter last game, so this is also an Underdog. These are some Underdog lines. Let me take a look at Underdog real quick. Let me see, and then we'll call it a night because that was the last game we went over. Let's see if there's any other favorable lines that are on there and not on PrizePicks. I haven't been on here in a while, so I'll just have to open it up. Why is Underdog so slow? Oh my gosh.
They're the worst,
Can you
bro.
get the spinning wheel like
They're I don't
entire time?
understand. Like, what are they doing?
Okay. I've not used this in a very long time. Let's see. I mean, it looks all pretty much the same, right? That's the first quarter props.
Mm-hmm. They got the double doubles now. People like the double doubles these days. It's funny.
Do we have Banker's assist on here? Okay, yeah, we do. It's interesting. They have like Kelly 5 assists and 7 rebounds, but then 12
Oh,
and a half.
hey, Nug said, not Trey Mann. He meant Trey Jones. Because if it was Trey Mann at 1.5.
We talked about this already. Yep.
If it was Trey Mann, I was going to go deposit.
Oh yeah, Underdog. I would have deposited 2 with you. Okay, here you go. And then he wanted. You mentioned the first quarter points. Little nugget special here for those who use Underdog. With I believe the other, we'll call this a nugget first quarter stack. I think it was Franz 3.5 points. They already bumped it to 4, so never mind. Sorry, Nug. If you want a real sweat nugget, go under Gary Harris first quarter rebound. It's an ultimate nerfy. Oh, I don't mind that. Surprised we're getting that. Jokic 8.5 assists. Yeah, it's already juiced up minus 135 in the over. With how much assists and 3 balls the Spurs give up, they should be able to get that. There you go, Nugget. A little 3 picks special for you with first quarters. Yeah, are you good, Nugget? I know you were talking about Trey Jones. Yeah. All right, man. What? I think we went through everything we could, right? I mean, there's one game we couldn't go through because of pending news on Cade Cunningham, and we couldn't go to the Spurs game because we don't have any props for that game. Because the Suns are on a back-to-back, and is someone questionable for the Hornets? Or is it just because the Suns are on a back-to-back, so they're not gambling us anything?
Let's see.
Oh, we need to go over the Clippers Pelicans because we don't have those props either. Because Clippers are on a back-to-back, so imagine someone might sit here like a Kawhi or Paul George, but and Harden's sat out today, so maybe Harden returns tomorrow.
Charlotte looks healthy.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be just because we don't have the other teams report. And the same will be the same case for the Clippers and Pelicans. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I said before, I don't really play any Pelicans props or target them. So, and I have no idea what the Clippers are going to do. They've been putting all their guys on the injury report, and we've been having to wait till hour before tip-off to find out who's in, who's out. So, and being the back-to-back. Yeah, so we got 2 games, kind of a wait and see. Suns, Hornets, and Clippers and Pelicans. But other than that, I like the 2 late night games. They're both island games. The Nuggets, Spurs, and then the Hawks and Jazz. I feel like those are going to be good ones for targeting certain spots and certain positions. It has some good potential for overs, whether it's the first half or full game. And then I think there's some unders to be had in the Magic Raptors. And then as well as for the Heat and Pistons, depending on the Cade news. Cade's out. I think that game has a high chance of blowing out. If he's in, then I think that will change things for us, and we can consider some Heat full game props like Jimmy Butler's free throws. So, to recap kind of what target. A lot of these aren't on our target list. They're not available currently right now, but maybe for those who catch this video in the morning, maybe some of them will be available by that time. But things we're kind of setting the line of what we expect or want it to be at. But yeah, I think these are some decent early lean targets to look for. And yeah, sorry, we had to put some of these props on here that aren't available because it's just the board is so limited. We kind of had to just put things on there that currently aren't on there because of how limited the board is. But hopefully some of that's helpful. Things look out for fantasy props. We'll see what dunk props we get. I doubt we get Bam's dunk prop. We haven't gotten it since he's been going over every slate, and this is a good dunk spot for him. So probably just get Jimmy's dunk again. But yeah, let's look out for the fantasy, see what dunks we get. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Try to get on in the afternoon maybe for a little quick stream, a little quickie, and if not, we'll be definitely be back on tomorrow night, and we'll break down, I think, a much larger slate for Saturday. Before we get off Nuggets, and I love how 3 J-namers come together. If anybody else in here, my name is Jeremy, and I go by Nugget and other names.
Big Nug.
Love it, Nug. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate you bringing your briefcase, and we got it. And throwing out some solid plays here people can use.
That was fun.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it, underrated. I'll check in with you maybe tomorrow afternoon for the quick stream if we can, or not tomorrow night.
Yep. Sounds good, man. All right.
All right, guys.